Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. The Premier has criticised 2 scathing reports into the stadium after it was revealed the author of one met with critics before he was appointed to review the project. But Jeremy Rockliff's handling of the stadium is facing more scrutiny. Hobart City Council's Planning Committee are now considering an elector poll.
The case for Macquarie Point Stadium took big hits from 2 damning reports, but the Premier's doubting their value following revelations the author of one of them, economist Nicholas Gruen, met with critics before he was appointed to do his review.
We can no longer have faith in either Dr Gruen's report or, of course, the TPC's.
The Premier telling Parliament his own government's Planning Commission's work leaned on Gruen's.
There is a clear apprehension of bias.
But Jeremy Rockliff's coming under fire for his remarks.
It's absolutely disgraceful that we've got the Premier sledging not only the Tasmanian Planning Commission, but Dr Nicholas Gruen.
The Hobart City Council's Planning Committee chair says the evidence in both reports still stand to reason. Gruen also meeting with pro-stadium voices, including the AFL, as part of his work.
The important point for me is to look at the facts and the evidence he has presented.
The committee voting for Lord Mayor Anna Reynolds to meet with AFL boss Andrew Dillon to discuss concerns and consider an elector poll if the government pulls the stadium from the current planning process.
To abandon it now will take away that right of the community.
Hobart City Council have more than enough of their own problems to look after, and I think they should be focusing on a few of those things. This whole stadium development is for the betterment of Tasmania.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's Energy Minister has survived a no-confidence motion by the opposition in a fiery end to the last sitting week before Easter. Labor accusing Nick Duigan of being misleading over whether Tasmania's 4 major industrial companies had been hit with transmission cost increases.
I know for a fact from speaking to the major industrials that transmission prices have gone up by an astronomical amount.
On the matter concerning Mr Duigan, he's clearly not misled the House. Overall transmission costs have gone down over the past 10 years in real terms.
First hurdle, but was quashed in the final vote. With just 2 major supermarket chains offered statewide, Tasmanians might feel their hip pockets are being hit harder than others across the country. The Greens launching an ambitious plan to introduce Aldi to Tasmania to increase competition and lower grocery prices.
It's one of only a few big chains yet to set up shop on our little island state.
It's not a sale. Our prices are just this low every day.
Yes, it's an everyday sale!
And it seems most Tasmanians feel we're missing out.
You do the little local stores like Salamanca Fresh down here, but otherwise it's really, Coles and Woolworths.
When I was back in Sydney, I always used to shop at Aldi.
I suppose then you wouldn't have the local producers and growers supported as much.
The Greens unveiling a plan to lure the chain to Tasmania, which includes making price gouging illegal and conducting a review into what barriers are stopping Aldi from establishing itself here.
There's not enough competition in the supermarket sector, and we want to see more competition, which would drive down prices.
An Aldi spokesperson told 7 Tasmania News while it would never rule out opening a store here, it has no current plans to do so. Independent Senator Tammy Tyrrell believes it's partly due to difficulties the producers face through the freight equalisation scheme.
Fix it now. We're in the first world country, aren't we? Let's fix it now. And we've got a lot of clever people in Parliament, allegedly, that can do that.
The Greens claiming the big parties simply haven't held big supermarkets accountable.
They're captured by the supermarket duopoly, just like the Liberals are.
This is false hope that the Greens are offering Tasmanians. There's nothing real here.
Putting taxpayer-funded subsidies into a multinational company or a company from overseas to bring them to Tasmania, so that's not something that we would support.
For now, Aldi's everyday low prices remain out of reach. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
On the local campaign trail, federal Labor says a plan by Peter Dutton to slow down the rollout of renewable energy projects will affect potential jobs in Tasmania.
I've been speaking to a number of proponents of renewable energy projects across Tasmania who are telling me they feel uncertain about what's going to happen if there's a change of government.
We committed to hydrogen hub funding right back, well before Labor did, for example. We're committed to seeing these industries.
The Liberal Party has been pushing for nuclear power as part of its campaign to bring down energy bills. Harness trainer Ben Yole has been fined $1,000 for not having workers' compensation insurance. He'll also need to hand over $25,000 for the premiums that should have been paid. Mr Yole pleaded guilty but says he thought his staff were covered by a separate racing industry insurance policy, which he contributed more than $90,000 towards over 2 years. No conviction was recorded. The state government has taken aim at the opposition after it voted against lobbying for more federal support for Tasmanian infrastructure projects.
It doesn't stack up. That's why I'm so shocked. To say that we're going to have more money to spend on other projects is just not correct.
Tasmania will get the same investment from the Australian government for infrastructure in Tasmania. The challenge is for this government to actually advance infrastructure projects.
The federal government's reduced contribution has also been met with criticism in other states. $45,000 is the biggest cheque yet to be handed over from the annual Longford Truck Run. The fundraiser has been going for more than 4 decades now, and this year's effort from almost 200 drivers will help the Royal Flying Doctor Service provide mobile health checks for truckies.
We can support hard-working truck owners who, deliver long hours behind the wheel and sometimes may neglect their health due to the tight timeframes.
Makes you feel good to think you're part of it, and for everyone else that was part of it, from the people on the day to all the businesses that donated prizes and that, it's a great contribution to the RFDS.
In just 3 years, they've raised more than $130,000 for the Flying Doctors. Thousands of Tasmanians are again demanding an end to greyhound racing. The Greens tabling a parliamentary petition with close to 5,000 signatures from people who believe an end to the industry is near due to growing welfare concerns and dwindling public support.
They generally need vet work, they generally need dental work.
We'll keep advocating and pushing for an end to greyhound racing in Tasmania until it happens, and it will happen.
They're calling for the government to follow the lead of New Zealand, which plans to ban the industry early next year. Minister for Racing Jane Howlett says there are no moves for a ban. A national food security charity, Oz Harvest, has expanded its service into Tasmania, helping transport surplus stock from supermarkets to local charities. It aims to help those struggling to put food on the table because of the rising cost of living.
Making sure nothing goes to waste.
In the past 7 months, we've seen an increase in fresh fruit and produce available to our community.
Oz Harvest officially announcing its expansion into Tasmania following a soft launch mid-last year. The Northern Suburbs Community Centre in Newnham, one of 25 local recipients of the service.
When the produce arrives, our volunteers distribute it across our 2 other centres. So we've got Newnham, Mowbray and Rochalie.
It's a great service because the amount of fresh vegetables and fruit we're getting on a weekly basis is very beneficial to the people in the community that just simply can't afford it.
So far, over 75,000 kilograms of surplus fruit, vegetables, dairy and meat has been saved from disposal.
We understood pretty quickly that there was a gap in the market and an opportunity to work with suppliers and donors to be able to help communities with some food donations.
Very passionate of the company over many years of making sure that any surplus stock goes out to the community.
With cost of living pressures biting more people, the community centre has seen a sharp uptick in the number of those needing supplies. Over 100 recipients every Monday collecting the food across its 3 locations.
Last year we were seeing numbers around, I'd say, 60, now we're seeing much more. The need is so much greater.
Oz Harvest is hoping more people will donate their time to help deliver product, ensuring no one is left hungry. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmanian News.
The message these school holidays is go big or go home as the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery braces for its 8th Lift Off Festival. This year's theme is To the Max, inspiring little holiday makers to think big through a range of activities.
Roar Experience, which is an interactive artwork down in our Bond store basement.
The event is put together by these little leaders.
Ever since I was little, I was coming to TMAG and I always loved it, and I wanted to create that for someone else.
The fun starts on Saturday and will run for 6 days. The race to experience Dark Mofo is on, with more than 40,000 tickets snapped up yesterday alone. Musical performances, including Agenesis and Berliner Tonal, sold out instantly, with organisers calling the response phenomenal. But there are tickets to the Nude Solstice swim still available if you are willing to bear all. There's also plenty of free activities set to feature over the 10-day festival. Well, airports across Tasmania are ramping up operations as Easter holidaymakers prepare for a busy travel period. With extra flights, added staff and even a visit from the Easter Bunny, terminals are bracing for the seasonal rush.
Gearing up for what's expected to be a busy holiday period.
We're expecting about 10,000 people a day through the terminal during the peak days.
That's about 3,000 more than the average day at Hobart Airport, with 6 extra flights added to help ease congestion.
About 155,000 coming through between now and the end of Anzac Day.
Smaller in size but still packing a punch, Launceston Airport will see around 60,000 travellers through its doors during the Easter rush.
With more security staff, with more cleaners and with more support staff to ensure the passenger experience is where it needs to be.
Children might even spot a fluffy tail and 2 floppy ears as they pass through the terminal.
I hear the Easter Bunny might be making an appearance on Easter Saturday.
With an influx of visitors into our state over the next 2 weeks, Tasmania's tourism industry is set to reap the benefits.
What we tend to hear from tourism operators is that when they see more capacity come into the airport and more passengers, they see it in their cash registers the next day.
The busy period in full swing at Launceston Airport this afternoon, as lines to pass through security were well and truly out the door. And with delays like this one and both airports in the thick of major upgrades, there's some advice for jet setters.
We do encourage passengers to come to the airport at least 90 minutes before their flight.
So allow plenty of time to get to the airport, find a park, get checked in and get through security, and be kind to all our staff.
To ensure Easter holidays take off without any unwanted turbulence. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmanian News.
Community sports clubs are the focus of a federal Liberal commitment. Member for Bass, Bridget Archer, promising over $1.4 million for upgrades at 5 sports facilities across northeastern Tasmania if re-elected.
We'll be able to create a safe environment for our women's team and our juniors as well.
We're becoming more of a community centre than just only a golf club. There's not that many community facilities in the northern suburbs, and we're hoping to fill that gap.
Part of the funds will also go towards a new electronic scoreboard at the Rochely Football Club.
Scottsdale admit they might need some time to adjust to the step up to Premier League. Old and new foes are preparing to face off as the NTFA's Premier League roars to life on Saturday. Lined up for photo day at UTAS Stadium like the class of 2025, players are excited for the NTFA's new dawn. And a reinvigorated Launceston, brimming with fresh talent, is ready to go.
Yeah, it's very exciting, but also there's that unknown, I guess, with all the new clubs and the TSL stepping down.
After a forgettable final TSL season, the Blues kicked things off against one of the tougher opponents, reigning NTFA premiers South Launceston, although the Bulldogs are also coming in wary.
Really classy, well-drilled side coming back from that TSL comp, and then obviously us coming off the win of last year. It'll just be good to see how we can go with this younger side that we are bringing through this year.
They'll play the curtain raiser for the women's opening match, looking forward to playing for a crowd.
Good time slot under lights, that'll get everyone up and about, and hopefully a bit of a crowd sticks around, so yeah, it'll be good fun.
While newcomers Scottsdale are under no illusion about what they're facing as they jump to the top tier, kicking things off against Longford.
We're certainly going to need a little bit of time, there's no doubt about that. You know, the likes of North Launceston, Launceston South have been in the top tier comp for quite a few years now, so we will be playing catch up, no doubt.
After only a short wait of 143 years, Sorell women's football team will play their first competitive game tomorrow under lights against University. Eagles captain Olivia Hudson says the team can't wait to hit the field and fly the flag for the Sorell community.
You'll definitely
band the community together, and yeah, it means a lot to our families that have played for us.
Where the club's been at the last sort of 20 years haven't been in a particularly great spot, so now as the area grows and footy's growing in the community, we've had the chance to bring those girls in.
There will also be a footy star watching on from the sidelines. Former GWS captain Amanda Farrugia is expected to present a medal to the best player on each team. Well, the secret is out. The bird is back. After flying the coop to New South Wales following a 13-season stint in Tasmania, Jackson Bird is returning to the Tigers. The veteran quick says he's excited to be closer to family and to potentially see out the rest of his career here in Tassie.
I was probably going to retire from first-class cricket if I didn't get anything from Tassie.
It's just a one-year deal for now, but the prolific wicket-taker is coming here to add a Sheffield Shield title to his list of accomplishments. And with 17 5-wicket hauls to his name, he'll surely help that happen. And there are no favours for the Hurricanes this year's Big Bash drafts, landing 5th pick for both the men's and women's in today's lottery. The drafts are being brought forward 2.5 months earlier to June in an attempt to maximise player availability. Yeah, the good ones were getting snapped up by the other comps before we get our chance, apparently, Kim.
OK, thank you for that, Nick. Murph will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. Hobart, 10 degrees above average today with a high of 27. Launceston, Devonport and Burnie all 21. All temperatures above the norm. Campania also reached 27. Friendly Beaches, Grove and Bushy Park 26. King Island and Smithton 23. Flinders Island, St Helens and Strawn 22 degrees. Lowhead 20. Lyawini a top of 17. The west and north found most of the cloud today, but no significant rainfall resulted from any of that. Patchy low cloud is over southern Victoria, eastern New South Wales and southern Queensland. The northern tropics had areas of convective cloud. Tomorrow, the high develops south of the Bight. The cold front now off to the east after having no real impact on our weather as it slid to the south. The northerly airstream will give way to the onset of a 10 to 20 knot west to southwesterly breeze, which will pick up to 30 knots over southern waters with a 5 metre swell. So we have a strong wind warning for the south and southeast from Wineglass Bay around to Low Rocky Point. Now an 8-degree drop for Hobart tomorrow, 19 degrees and cloud clearing. Huonville a top of 18, a top of 20 for Campania. Launceston, a top of 23 and partly cloudy. A sunny day for Devonport, 21 the maximum, 19 the high for Georgetown. Burnie expecting 20, a sunny day. A possible shower for Strawn, 40% chance, not real is it? 17 the top and 21 the high for Wynyard. And for the east tomorrow, 20 the high for St Helens, partly cloudy for Swansea, 18 the top for Port Arthur. To the weekend, on Saturday, fine apart from a light shower over the northeast, most likely during the morning. Showers extending across the state on Sunday, however missing the far north. And on Monday, showers more widespread before easing and contracting to the east and south. Sunny and warm in Perth and Adelaide, partly cloudy in Melbourne. Fine and sunny weather in Canberra and Sydney. However, another shower and 28 in Brisbane. And here are the current conditions around the state. Kim, this weather at the moment is really strange. It's got me beat.
That's nothing new. Thanks, Murph. That is all we have time for tonight. Good night, everyone.